Hello everyone, we hope you had a fun and safe holiday. As we enter the new year, we're going to have some new RCs to show, hopefully some airplanes this year. This little SCX24 here though, we picked up last year, we wanted to show it. Now that we got to a point where we think that we've done all the modifications we want to do, and it's right at the performance level that we want. So we're going to run through everything that we put on here, whether or not it was worth the upgrade or not, whether or not you can deal with not having it. And we're going to go through the price on each thing to see what the total price was at the end. Alright, so we have the SCX24 Deadbolt. We picked it up in stock form. It was 135 bucks. In stock form, they perform okay. If you're not expecting anything crazy out of it, they are a little top heavy, but as far as body flex and modifications, we think that this was the best platform to use because it was already had high cutout fender flares and all that. So after running it for a while, we started to notice we wanted to do some upgrades, and the first set of upgrades we did had to involve the wheel hubs, the tires, and the bead locks. So we picked up the Treal wheel hubs, which are inside of here. You see those little rotor looking things behind the wheels? Those are weighted wheel hubs to get the center of gravity down. So we paid 22 bucks for the set of 4, front and rear, for those. Then we got the Injora 1.0 tires. They are about the same size as stock, but they are wider. So height-wise, you're not going to gain anything. But as far as sticking out, as you can see there, it's about a little more than a quarter size wider. So no height gain, but you get more width on the side. So those tires were 14 bucks for the set of 4. And now these prices may have changed and fluctuated because this was last year. So don't go off verbatim what we said for the price. We also got the Treal bead locks here. Those are the Treal 1.0 bead locks. Excellent bead lock rims. They're heavy. So that setup with the tires, the hubs in there, and the bead locks, that put a lot of weight down low, and everything kind of stabilized as far as center of gravity. It wasn't tipping over as much because it liked to flip backwards like this. Whenever it went up, it would flip over on itself. So with that upgrade, things were good. But then we started to notice that the steering servo and the steering linkage was kind of sloppy. So we went ahead and ordered the Treal steering links here. And that tightened everything up. So those were 12 bucks. Right after we upgraded that, the steering servo, the stock one, went out. So we went with the Emaxx ES08MA2. And that came with the Injora steering horn there. That was 24 bucks. So after that, everything kind of was good. We started to notice the motor was taking a little bit of a, not a hit, but we seen it was slowing down. So we knew that eventually that motor was going to start going out, so we started to look for a new motor, but we kept on going to see how far we can go with it. We ended up picking the Treal high clearance links up, the knuckles, and the shocks. So we got these links here. They were excellent links. We went ahead and just only ran one O-ring on them, and we get tons and tons of flex out of there. We stuck with the stock 3-point link in the front. We didn't see any real advantage getting the 4-link for anything we were doing. So those high clearance links, those were expensive. Those were 34 bucks. We got the knuckles up here in the front, and these were originally mounted on the plastic stock axles, and they did fine. That again adds weight down low. Those were $27. We got the 43 millimeter Injora adjustable shocks. Those were 25 bucks. And at this point, the rig was running good, and again, the motor was getting stressed out. The motor eventually failed. So at this point, we did place a big order to get some more parts in. All right, once the motor died, we decided to go ahead and go with a Venom battery upgrade here. And that ends up being 430 milliamp hours instead of the stock one that's 350. This is an excellent upgrade. It does very well in here. So that little upgrade was $23. Again, that extends your playing time. It really helps out. We ordered an LED kit, additional set for up here and the rear. That was $10. The boulder bars here, actually sorry, these boulder bars here, those are Treal, and those were $14. We got the skid plates, those were $13. We ended up getting some cheap metal axles here, just some no-name axles, and they actually ended up working out pretty well. Everything bolted up. There was a lot of complaints on Amazon about the threading not being right, but it ended up being really decent machined axles. Everything fit well. Still got the stock gearing inside. We're running the stock plastic drive shaft still. They work fine. So those metal axles were $24. Super cheap. Definitely worth the upgrade. We got skid plates here to protect everything. Those were $13. Again, great upgrade. We got an accessory kit, a little fuel tank, and some skid bars or some traction bars up here. And that little kit was $22. So we did actually get the Injora red motor here. It's the 66 turn. And we kept the leg back there. We just used a Dremel to cut it out, and it's got a metal adapter plate. That motor was $11. Excellent motor upgrade for this. So all in all, when you start adding weight to this thing, the motor's going to take a hit and the steering servo is going to take a hit. So the biggest upgrades we think to this, we did do a short on it, were the motor, the steering servo, and the wheels and tires. That's where you're going to see your biggest benefit to playing with this thing. If you want to start getting extreme with it, then you can start adding in more weight, like the metal axles, the knuckles, the hubs. So with everything added up here, we ended up coming right around $450 plus tax. So probably puts this thing right around $500 for this little rig. Do we think it was worth it? Yeah, this has been a reliable truck. Other than the stock motor burning out, but you're adding, hundreds of more grams of weight on here, so what do you expect? And the motors are fairly cheap and easy to install. Overall, we think it was worth it. We're going to show you a little bit of what it can do and some of the capabilities. Alright, we're going to show you that even with the stock 3-link front setup and not switching to the common 4-link like everybody does, you still have tons of flex and tons of droop. The standard seems to be taking 4 tires and stacking them. So that's what we're going to do. We will take that. And as you can see there, all the tires are touching the ground. And that is the 4-tire flex there. We'll do the same thing with the rear. Again, tires still touching the ground there. No issues. We'll show you like this. No problems with the flex. And the secret to that is just running one O-ring in your clearance links. And we can do the same with the front. Now you'll probably get a little more flex out of the front with the front link, but as you can see, it's really not needed. Flexes real well. The only thing we actually did was we clearanced a little bit of the edges of that Emaxx steering servo to fit between the frame rails on this thing. So other than that, this thing does extremely well, again, for what it is. The steering does well. Very control, very smooth. You can modulate the Injora motor very well. And we'll show you a little bit of a flex hang here off the edge of this. Let's get this thing going real slow. And there it is. Hanging off the edge, and we fell. But yeah, very capable truck. So we'll show you some video of it running now.